Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys' Dak Prescott breaks silence on contract. Don't play for money as the Dallas Cowboys approach the 2024 season. Perhaps the biggest storyline is the looming Dak Prescott contract extension. Jerry Jones and company have a huge decision to make soon as the Cowboys quarterback enters the final year of his deal. However, while the local and national media and Cowboys fans everywhere fret about whether or not Prescott will be in Big D after this season, the QB himself says he's not worried about it. "I don't play for money. Never cared for it. To be honest with you, yeah," Prescott said, per ESPN after the Cowboys' OTAs on Wednesday. "Would give it up just to play this game. So I allow that to the business people to say what it's worth, what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, a leader of my play. For me, it's about, as I said, control what I can control and handle that part, and the rest will take care of itself. What Prescott can control is his play on the field, and that was excellent last season." Prescott led the league in completions, 410, and passing touchdowns, 36, while throwing for 4,516 yards and just 9 interceptions. This performance led to a 12-5 record and an NFC East crown for the boys. It also meant Prescott made his third Pro Bowl, second-team All-Pro, and was second in NFL MVP voting to Lamar Jackson. After all that, though, Dallas once again disappointed in the playoffs, shockingly losing their opener at home to the Green Bay Packers. And therein lies the rub for Prescott and the Cowboys. As good as he and the team are in the regular season, playoff success always seems to elude them. Now, this isn't all Prescott's fault by any means. Jones, Mike McCarthy, and a plethora of Cowboys players deserve blame as well. Still, Prescott's playoff record of 2-5 speaks for itself and makes it seem like a Cowboys Super Bowl run led by the QB may never come. Proposed trade would send Cowboys a chain mover starting RB on bargain. The Dallas Cowboys' current running back group is not exactly striking fear in the hearts of the other NFC East teams. There is still time for the Cowboys to make a move, but the free agent options are limited. Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport revisited the idea of the Pittsburgh Steelers trading running back Najee Harris to the Cowboys. The analyst believes Dallas could be able to pry Harris away for a 2025 conditional draft pick. On one hand, running back Najee Harris has been a consistent performer for the Steelers, eclipsing 1,000 yards on the ground in all 3 of his professional seasons. Davenport wrote in a May 21, 2024 article titled, "8 Post-Draft NFL Trades That Make Too Much Sense to Actually Happen." On the other, he hasn't lived up to his status as a first-round pick, averaging a pedestrian 3.9 yards per carry for his career. Quote ellipsis. The Steelers have another running back on the roster who has been consistently more explosive than Harris and third-year pro Jaylen Warren, who averaged north of 5 yards a carry last year. Veteran acquisition Cordarrelle Patterson could be used to spell Warren, Davenport added. Harris may not be a game changer, but he's a durable chain mover. And given the Cowboys' win-now mentality, a conditional pick for Harris that could escalate based on performance is a reasonable cost, even if it's just a one-year rental, Cowboys rumors. Dallas shot down trade chatter about Steelers RB Najee Harris. Harris posted 255 carries for 1,035 yards and 8 touchdowns in 17 games last season. The veteran added 29 catches for 170 receiving yards. This is solid production, and there is a reason to think the Steelers would be reluctant to move Harris for just a conditional pick. Dallas has already attempted to squelch the Harris trade rumors. On these Najee Harris and Cowboys reports, team source tells me clickbait. NFL Network's Jane Slater detailed in a May 6 message on X. The Dallas Cowboys plan to operate a running back by committee approach in 2024. Yet Pittsburgh declined Harris's 5th-year option, so the Steelers could be inclined to move on from the playmaker. Harris is heading into the final season of a 4-year, $13 million contract. The veteran has a $4.1 million cap hit for the 2024 season. As of now, the Cowboys are taking a running back by committee approach, but it remains to be seen who will lead this group. Ezekiel Elliott could once again be the team's lead back, with Rico Dowdle attempting to win the job. Dallas also has Royce Freeman, Deuce Deuce Vaughn, Snoop Connor, and Nathaniel Pete all fighting for carries. The Cowboys have made it abundantly clear that they are embracing the committee approach at running back. The Athletic's Saad Yousuf detailed in a May 21st article. Cowboys 5 situations to watch at OTAs. A holdout, new coach, lineups, eyes on QB. The question is, how will they split up the workload? Rico Dowdle showed flashes late last season, complimenting Tony Pollard. Was that enough for him to earn starting reps from the outset? Or does Ezekiel Elliott, once the unquestioned starter in Dallas, assume that role, even though he's a lesser version of the player who was the face of the position for the Cowboys? New Cowboys edition named Most Overrated Player at his position. New Cowboys edition named Most Overrated Player at his position. The Dallas Cowboys have opted for familiarity this offseason, but one of their new additions to the 2024 squad is being singled out. In a stretch where Dallas didn't make many changes, the return of running back Ezekiel Elliott is already drawing warnings. In a May 21st article from Bleacher Report's Alex K., he names Elliott as the NFL's most overrated RB. The Cowboys re-signed former starter Ezekiel Elliott to a one-year deal shortly after the draft concluded. That decision could come back to haunt the Cowboys as they try to reach an NFC championship game for the first time in nearly 3 decades. Their backfield sorely disappointed in each of their last 3 playoff exits, 2 of which featured Elliott prominently, K wrote. K's argument is mostly rooted in the fact that Elliott's production has dwindled in the past few years. It's a fair point, but the term overrated feels off to describe Elliott's situation. After all, he's playing on a $2 million one-year contract, according to Spatrack. It's hard to see how he's overrated or overvalued when he's playing on close to the league minimum. Elliott's production regresses years before he left the Cowboys. It became clear that Elliott's production wasn't going to sustain at the Pro Bowl rate fans saw from 2016 to 2019. The shelf life of an NFL RB is shorter than ever. And Zeke is not immune to that. 2020 was notable because Elliott failed to reach the 1,000-yard rushing mark despite playing 15 games. More importantly, he averaged 4.0 yards per carry according to Pro Football Reference. He somewhat rebounded with 1,002 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, and 4.2 yards per carry in 2021. But he was still less effective than his first 4 seasons in the league, all while his contract made him the highest-paid RB in the NFL. 2022 was the nail in the coffin, though. Tony Pollard became the feature back at that point, while Elliott was grinding out 3.8 yards per carry and being isolated to short yardage situations. His 1 year with the New England Patriots didn't see him fare better. Elliott started 5 games and made 17 appearances, but averaged just 3.5 yards per carry and reached 642 yards on the ground. Young Cowboys RBs set for major opportunity while Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn got to back up Pollard last year. The Cowboys had franchise-tagged Pollard and needed to utilize him to get their money's worth. Now with Elliott on a cheap deal, there is far less reason to not utilize the young RB duo. Dowdle averaged 4.2 yards per carry in 2023 and reached 505 yards from scrimmage. After 3 years in a very small role, the former South Carolina Gamecock had finally shown his worth. The same can't be said for Vaughn. Vaughn was an exciting draft pick for Dallas in the 2023 NFL Draft, partially due to his father working in the scouting department. But there were plenty of questions about whether the former Kansas State star could translate to the NFL. The Cowboys didn't give him many opportunities. 23 rushes for 40 yards, but Vaughn failed to make noise. In an offense where the other 2 RBs were still effective, the rookie had a tough first year. 2024 may be a make-or-break season for the 22-year-old.